Let's talk about rum cask finished Japanese whiskey. Welcome to Whiskey Catapult, where we catapult around the world trying whiskeys from all over the world. And today we are catapulting over to Japan to the Nikka distillery, specifically Miyagikyo. Now, Miyagikyo is probably one of my favorite Japanese whiskeys. Very light floral profile. Uh, one of my favorites for quite a while. But this one is a rumwood finish version of that. Bottled in 2017. Fortunately, it doesn't say when it was distilled or when how long it was finished in rum casks. But they just said it was finished in Caribbean rum casks and bottled in 2017. So not too much additional information, but it is 46% ABV. And unfortunately, it doesn't say natural color and non-chill filtered. So unsure about it on that part. But that's okay. We can forgive Miyagikyo. Miyagikyo if they do such things, because they're making excellent whiskey. Very nice sweet nose. Floral still comes through nicely. It's almost got this sweet oak kind of note to it. A little bit of ripe pear, some light fruit. It's a very nice nose. It's malty, it's floral, it's very sweet. So that light fruit does come in. A little bit of funkiness. It's a little syrupy. It's kind of thick. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it. It's got really nice legs on the glass there. So I would hope that would mean it's not chill filtered. Really good stuff. Okay. Light on the finish. Kind of floral, a little bitter. Still have some of that light fruit coming in. It was pretty nice. So when the Japanese whiskey craze hit, the first two bottles that I was able to get my hands on was Nikka from the barrel and Yamazaki 12. I was able to get Yamazaki 12 before the price just pivoted to where it's at now, which is still a little over $200, unfortunately. Not worth that. So started looking at other options. Outside of a lot of fakes that were in the market, or whiskeys that were calling themselves Japanese whiskey, but were actually distilled and originally aged somewhere else, like Scotland or China, bringing it in, aging in Japan for like a month, and then saying, hey, it's Japanese whiskey. Trying to navigate that was pretty challenging, but I knew that Nikka was legit. And so I ended up buying a bottle of all three of their main releases, which was Yoichi, Miyagikyo, and Taketsuru, which is a blend of the two. Really enjoyed all of them, but Miyagikyo just has this very distinctively different character because Yoichi is kind of leaning into the Scotch tradition of whiskey making and kind of in that line and flavor profile. Miyagikyo was more to where like Yamazaki was, where it's more for the lighter Japanese palate. So was really excited to give them a try. Have really enjoyed this one ever since. And as soon as I saw this one, I was like, oh, let's try his rumwood finish. I also have, it was a two-part set. So it came with Miyagikyo rumwood and Yoichi rumwood, which will be my next review. So stay tuned for that. But I was curious to see what this tasted like. So if I were to compare it to the original one, this one's a little sweeter and has a little bit more oak influence, just a bit. So I was hoping for a little bit more tropical notes, but hasn't quite come through yet. But still lovely nose. You still get some of that ripe pear and floral. Not quite perfumey, which I do appreciate. Still malty. Floral light fruit. Man, fruit. Still thick and rich. Mm, I might actually get a little bit of tropical in there at the very, very tail end. Mm. Add a few drops of water. 3, 4, 5. Just to see if it makes a difference. See if it opens it up a little bit. Mm. Yeah. Still had just that little bit of bitterness on the finish, followed by like the floral and fruit. This one's nice. This one's enjoyable. Mm. I've seen them do a few other releases from the Miyagikyo and Yoichi range where they've got like a special yeast strain one. They've got actually a 10-year version of Yoichi and Miyagikyo started showing up in the market. It's still a little too pricey for me at the moment, but I am keeping my eye on it, and it's glad to see those coming back because for a while you could only get them at auction, and they were incredibly expensive. They still are a little expensive, but not quite to that that extent. But I've also seen like a sherrywood version, Spanish oak version. So really curious to see if I might get lucky and get those in my area. I technically got this one at auction, so I didn't get this one locally, unfortunately. But I feel like I got a pretty good deal, and I really want to try it. Nose doesn't change too much. It might be a little bit sweeter, but that floral and fruit is still coming through. The sweet oak is still showing an appearance, so not too much change on the nose. Mm. Okay. The floral's coming through a little bit more now. There's some of that tropical fruit. Okay. Now I'm getting like a little bit of a mango, little bit of a dried pineapple at the end. Still have that ripe pear on there. The maltiness of it's come down a little bit, but it's still like syrupy and viscous. It just coats the entire insides of your mouth. That's really good. Mm. Okay. The bitterness is still there on the finish, but it has kind of softened a bit. It's still nice and light. That floral and fruit is still there. It's still the same ripe pear note. I don't think any of the tropical notes have really transitioned to the finish that much, which a little bit of a bummer, but do one last try here. Yeah. Really nice to see the tropical kind of coming through now. That with the floral and the maltiness is just really nice. Yeah. So if you've had Miyagikyo before, this is one to look out for. Because I got this at auction, not going to say what it is based on price or MSRP. If you find a good deal on it that you feel like is a good deal for you, I think it's worth a pickup. It's not too far off from the regular Miyagikyo profile. It's kind of adjacent, which for something like this, I feel like is what you want, especially if you like Miyagikyo. But if you can't find this one and you haven't had Miyagikyo, go buy a bottle. Our bottle of Miyagikyo is like 80, 85 bucks in my area. Totally worth the price. Really good stuff. Highly recommend. This one's good. I wish I had a bottle of Miyagikyo around, the regular one, to do a side by side, kind of really tear into the differences there, but I might be able to do that a little bit later on. So, but yeah, really tasty stuff. I recommend this one. I think it's pretty good. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, subscribe to see where we catapult off to next. Cheers.